I want to talk for a moment about navigating leadership as it relates to blind spots, bias, and humility. There's an old proverb often attributed to King Solomon that hits home for anyone who's serious about leadership. Quote, "Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid." Now that's pretty harsh, maybe, but it's deeply relevant because real leadership, transformational leadership, requires the humility to accept feedback and the courage to face correction. Too often leaders, especially those early in their career that advance quickly, can fall into the trap of thinking they've arrived, that their instincts are sharp enough, that they can see everything clearly enough. But the truth is, we all have blind spots. And if we're not willing to look for them, well, then we're actually potentially leading from them. Kim Scott, in her book, Radical Candor, talks about the power of giving and receiving honest, caring feedback. Radical openness is a must for any leader who wants to grow and wants their people to grow along with them. Let's get honest for a moment. In most organizations, there are subtle and not so subtle biases at play. We've all heard the labels like the goofs in production, the geeks in IT, or the slackers in sales. Now, these comments are usually made in jest, but they reinforce stereotypes that quietly undermine trust and collaboration. Let me be clear, I'm not endorsing those, I'm just calling them out for what they are. Now, here's the dangerous part of using them. Believing them, sometimes, some people do, and repeating them, and then saying, well, I was just kidding, I was just joking. That doesn't make it right. Bias, especially unconscious bias, doesn't just live in our language. It shapes our decisions, limits our vision, and potentially corrodes culture from the inside out. So I think when we dismiss people or departments based on an outdated assumption or unspoken prejudices, we do more than damage relationships, we potentially kill innovation. I'm going to quote Shakespeare. If you've read Hamlet, if you haven't, you've probably heard this line. He says, "There's the rub." This is the rub. It isn't just that the issue is bad habits. It's mindsets like, this is how we've always done it here. That's just the way it is. Those are the invisible scripts that shape culture more than any value statement ever will. So what does strong leadership really look like? Well, I think it starts with self-awareness. It then thrives on curiosity, not certainty. And it grows by inviting diversity of thought, not those that all live in the same echo chamber. The best leaders I know have worked and that I've worked with don't pretend to have all the answers because they know they don't. But here's what they do. They ask better questions. They seek out different voices. They actually make space for disagreement because they know that real progress is often found in the uncomfortable places. Leadership isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's really more about listening, learning, adapting, and growing through learning. Before you say, man, Ralph, you've motivated, I'm in or I'm ready to lead, ask yourself these questions, please. 1, am I willing to be challenged? 2, am I open to changing my mind? And 3, am I committed to uncovering my blind spots and unlearning what is holding me and even my team back? Leadership isn't primarily about titles or authority. I believe it's more about humility, growth, and impact.